Hi everyone, thanks for joining me and welcome to another Birmingham at War episode. As you can see, what we have here is a key to a bigger plan that shows references to the air raids that took place on the city during World War II. And as you can see in red there were basically up to 77 raids during the course of the war. What I'll show you in a bit is another plan. Unfortunately, the detail won't be very good on it, but it'll give you some idea of how many bombs were actually dropped on the city. But I've also got some information that I thought I'd share with you. The Birmingham Blitz was the heavy bombing by the Luftwaffe of the city and surrounding towns beginning on the 9th of August 1940 and ending on the 23rd of April 1943. It is considered a fraction of the Greater Blitz, which was part of the Battle of Britain. Birmingham, England's most populous British city outside London, was an important industrial and manufacturing location. Around 1,852 tons of bombs were dropped on the city, with significant bombing also of towns in the neighbouring Black Country, particularly in Dudley, Tipton and West Bromwich, where there were hundreds of casualties. As with most provincial cities bombed during the Blitz, reports of the bombing were kept low-key. Wartime censorship meant that Birmingham was not mentioned by name in contemporary news reports about the bombing, being referred to instead as a Midland town. This was done in order to keep the Germans from knowing the outcome of their raids. There were 365 air raid alerts and 77 actual air raids on Birmingham, 8 of which were classified as major, in which at least 100 tons of bombs were dropped. Official figures state that 5,129 high explosive bombs and 48 parachute mines landed on the city, along with many thousands of incendiary bombs. Of the high explosive bombs, around 1/5 failed to detonate, and 1/3 of the parachute mines were left suspended after the parachute cords became caught in various obstacles such as trees. In total, 2,241 people were killed and 3,010 seriously injured. A further 3,682 sustained lesser injuries, 12,391 houses, 302 factories and 239 other buildings were destroyed, with many more damaged. The first air raid on the city took place on the 9th of August 1940, carried out by a single aircraft which dropped its bombs on Erdington. 1 person was killed and 6 injured. On the 13th of August, the aircraft factory in Castle Bromwich, which produced Spitfires, was attacked. 11 bombs hit the main target, causing significant damage. 7 people were killed and 41 injured. The first raid on the city centre occurred on the 26th of August. 25 people were killed in the raid, and the roof of the interior of the Old Market Hall and the Bullring was destroyed after being set ablaze by incendiary bombs. Regular small raids followed over August, September, October and early November. The city centre was badly hit between the 25th and 30th of October. Among the buildings hit were Birmingham University, the Art Gallery and Town Hall. The roof of the council house was damaged by fire, and on the 29th St Philip's Cathedral suffered serious fire damage after being hit by an incendiary. In November 1940, a series of heavy raids on Birmingham took place between the 19th and 28th of that month. Around 800 people were killed and 2,345 injured, with 20,000 civilians made homeless. On the first evening of the bombing, just 5 days after the devastating attack on nearby Coventry, the first major raid was launched against Birmingham, when around 440 bombers attacked the city, killing 450 people and badly injuring 540. Around 400 tons of high explosives were dropped during the raid, including 18 parachute mines. The raid turned out to be the most severe attack on Birmingham in the course of the war. A number of factories were badly damaged in the raid, including the Lucas Industries and GEC Works. The Birmingham Small Arms Company, BSA, factory was badly damaged, causing the loss of production and trapping hundreds of workers. 53 employees were killed, 89 were injured, 30 of them seriously, and the rifle production was halted for 3 months. A member of the Home Guard and one of the company's electricians were later awarded the George Medal for their bravery in helping the trapped workers. The following night, 200 bombers returned for another heavy raid, dropping 118 tons of explosives and 9,500 incendiaries, causing widespread damage. The main bus depot in Hockley was among the buildings hit, destroying or damaging 100 vehicles. A third consecutive major raid followed on the 21st, 22nd of November. During this 11-hour raid, large numbers of incendiaries were dropped, starting over 600 fires. The water supply system was badly damaged by bombs, causing 3/5 of the city to lose mains water supply. Firefighters therefore had to draw water from the city's canals. And some of you may remember that I did a video on the red doors that are on the bridge parapets over canals in Birmingham, and that's what they were there for, in order for the fire service to draw water from the canals. Supporting fire brigades from across the country were drafted in to help, and the fires were eventually brought under control. Nevertheless, Birmingham's water supply remained in a critical state. Only 1/5 of the normal quantity would have been available if there had been another raid, leading the regional commissioner to comment, "Birmingham will burn down if the Luftwaffe comes again tonight." However, there wasn't another raid that night, and this gave engineers time to repair the water mains. Around 60 bombers attacked Birmingham on the 4th of December. The Whitton tram depot was badly damaged in this raid. 1 week later, on the 9th and 11th December, another major raid involving 278 bombers was launched against the city. This was the longest raid of the Blitz, lasting for 13 hours. Apart from explosives, and around 25,000 incendiaries were dropped during the raid, causing widespread fires in both residential and industrial areas. 260 people were killed and 243 badly injured. All but the fine tower and classical west portico of St Thomas's Church on Bath Row was destroyed in the raid. Its ruins now form part of St Thomas's Peace Garden, a public park designated as a monument to peace and a memorial to all those killed in armed conflict. Further heavy raids followed in 1941. On the 11th of March, 135 bombers attacked the city. On the 9th and 10th of April, Birmingham was subjected to 2 heavy raids. In the first of these, 235 bombers dropped 280 tons of explosives and 40,000 incendiaries concentrated on the city centre. The Bull Ring, New Street, High Street and Dale End all suffered heavy damage. St Martin's in the Bull Ring was damaged, and the Prince of Wales Theatre and Midland Arcade were destroyed. Other areas including Smallheath, Aston and Nechells also suffered heavy damage. On the second night, 245 bombers dropped 245 tons of explosives and 43,000 incendiaries, causing major damage in Solihull, Hall Green and Erdington. The 2 April raids caused 1,121 casualties. On the night of the 16th, another large raid caused damage to the Wolseley Motor Factory and the ICI factory, although a navigation error meant that most bombers dropped their bombs on nearby Nuneaton by mistake. The last significant raid on Birmingham came on the 27th of July 1942, when around 60 to 70 bombers attacked the city. The very last raid on the city came on the 23rd of April 1943, when just 2 bombs fell on Bordesley Green, causing slight injury. And the last air raid siren sounded on the 15th of May 1944. So that's a bit of a history of the Blitz and how it affected Birmingham. And what I'll do now, guys, is I'll show you the full map of Birmingham and the plot of HE bombs, unexploded bombs, incendiary bombs. Alright. So here's the map, guys. As you can see, quite quite a few devices were dropped on the city. Now, this is just the city centre. I have got separate maps for other areas of the city, but this is just to give you some idea of how much damage would have been caused to the city centre of Birmingham during World War II. I can try and pan in to give you some idea of what we're talking about. So if I don't know whether I can move this across a bit. There we go. So that is New Street Station there, which is now called Grand Central, and so that's Birmingham's main station. And as you can see, we got quite a few hitting the very centre of Birmingham. But I thought I'd just show you that. I was quite fortunate to come across this. A friend in IT came across it when he was doing some repair work, and he knew that I would be interested and sent it on to me. So I want to thank Phil for doing that. I hope you, as I say, I hope you found that interesting, guys. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch up with you soon.